So this is going to be the solution to your Excel EX3. It says you work as an ICT consultant for Rock ICT who produces and sells music. The band Lyrics are planning a UK tour. You're going to manipulate some data about the dates of the concerts and places where the band will perform, which are the venues. You have been provided with source data files which you will need to examine carefully. The first part was about evidence. I'm not going to discuss evidence as of now. The second part was about visiting a website, finding some data, and then saving it as a file called venues. The venue file was already given to you. So we move on to point number 3. Using a spreadsheet package, open the file j12tour.csv, which is this file. Best fit your data. This is what we have. Then it says delete the top 4 rows from the spreadsheet. So we will select the 4 rows from the top. In the home tab, we have under the cells option group, we have the option to delete. And then again, we are going to best fit our data. In the cell C3, place a formula that will look up the name of the venue from the file venues. So I will just open up venues file. So in this file, we have some V code, probably a venue code. We have names, we have the location, we have the capacity. Fine. We are to have the venue name in this particular column. That's the requirement for placing a formula in C3. So again, function is simple, equals to VLOOKUP, bracket open, specify the venue code, which is this, comma, table array is basically going to be taken from the venue file. I can select the whole table, right? And then I will head over to my previous file, comma, column index number, the venue name was present in column number 2, comma, 0. So I've got the venue name. Replicating for all. This is done. Same is to be done for location and same is to be done for capacity, right? I can apply the function again if I want. However, the function remains the same. So what if I copy this function and paste it here? If I double click it, the reference is not C3, it is actually V3. And the venue location is not in column 2, it's actually in column 3. So that's the only edit that I will have to do. So done for London and the rest of the locations. F3 is basically this. Again, I can still use the same function, copy it here, then make the appropriate changes. The reference is not D3, it is still D3, which is actually my lookup value, and the capacity is not in the 3rd column, it is actually in the 4th column. So we get the capacity as well. Simple. Right. Visually check the accuracy of your results. I know that they are correct. Point number 9. In cell G2, place a formula that will calculate the number of trucks required to transport the equipment to the next venue. If the next venue has less than or equals to 400 seats, then 2 trucks are going to be required. If they are greater than 400 and less than 5,000 seats, then 1 truck for every 400 seats plus 1 extra truck will be required. 5,000 or more seats, then 15 trucks are required. So there are 3 categories actually. कि अगर आपके पास seats जो हैं वो up until 400 तक हैं, तो आपको कितने trucks चाहिए? 2. Only 2. अगर आपकी seats 400 से greater है, that means 401 से ज़्यादा, up until what? 4,999. तो फिर हमें क्या चाहिए, हमें एक ट्रक चाहिए टू कम्यूट 400 सीट्स प्लस 1 एक्स्ट्रा ट्रक। ठीक है, और 5000 से ज्यादा सीट्स होंगी तो जितनी भी हों, वी नीड 15 ट्रक्स। तो हाउ मेनी ऑप्शंस डू वी हैव? 3। ओके, हम एक सैंपल डेटा ले लेते हैं। ठीक है, if the number is less than or equals to 400, तो हम एक नंबर ले लेते हैं, लेट्स से 250। इसके लिए हमें ट्रक्स कितने चाहिए? 2 ट्रक्स, उसने बताया हुआ है। ठीक है, which is actually less than or equals to 400। अब उसने कहा है कि जी ग्रेटर देन 400 एंड लेस देन 5000, तो फिर क्या चाहिए? फिर हम एक नंबर ले लेते हैं। गिव मी अ नंबर। 1300। okay, now we need one truck for every 400 seats plus one extra truck। अब मैंने अगर इसको निकालना है कि इसमें कितने ट्रक्स बनते हैं, तो विल आई नॉट डू दिस, आई विल सिलेक्ट द नंबर ऑफ ट्रक्स एंड डिवाइड देम बाय 400। हाँ, कर सकते हैं ना? प्रेस एंटर। Yeah, you can't have 3.25, but one truck for every 400 seats. That means I am not going to consider the fractional part of my answer. And then we can add one extra. So there are two options to do this. One, that I will apply equals to integer on top of it. That will do what? That will take out the whole number from the given fractional number. So that is 3. Then I will have one extra truck added to it. The answer becomes 4. So 3.25 also means what? 4 trucks. True? Acha. The other way of doing this, I could simply not add 1 and I could use equals to round up. Bracket open, you specify this, comma, want a whole number, you put a 0. So that will also give you 4. Both the methods are correct. However, examiner किसको correct करेगा? Although दोनों को करेगा, but अगर literally देखा जाए ना कि उसकी wordings को follow कौन सी calculation या कौन सा method कर रहा है, तो that is this. Because when I'll start writing the function, there will be one truck for every 400. The operation is going to be there. Plus, I'm also adding 1. So the function will have all the prerequisites. ठीक है? Otherwise, answer ये भी ठीक, it will be corrected. ठीक है? ये बल्कि ज़्यादा efficient भी है, because it has lesser number of procedures, arithmetic operations. ठीक है? आपको समझ आई मेहरून साहब? लिखेंगे वो कैसे होगा? अच्छा, ये देखो, ये फंक्शन है, यहां पे मैंने लिखा ना, इफ आई डबल क्लिक ऑन इट, इट सेज n4 और o4 में जो भी है, whatever the function is, whatever the value is, if I replace that with the n4 over here and o4 over here, आंसर में डिफरेंस आएगा। अगर n4 के अंदर जो भी फंक्शन है या जो भी वैल्यू है, अगर मैं उसको यहां पे इससे रिप्लेस कर दूं, तो मेरे आंसर में डिफरेंस आएगा? नहीं आएगा। ओके, so I'll open up n4. This is a function, right? So I will just copy it and replace the n4. ठीक है, आंसर remains the same. इसी तरह मैं o4 से, अगर अब यहां पे फंक्शन नहीं है, यहां पे वैल्यू है, I'll just copy it and replace it with o4. आंसर में डिफरेंस है? नो, So that means I can get rid of what? N4 and O4. अब उसकी जरूरत नहीं है ना. So I'll delete them. Now I still want the function to be in one cell, right? So if I double click it, still whatever content or function I've applied in M4, if I replace it with M4, the answer remains the same. So I will come down to M4. I will take my function and I will replace it with M4. Still the same. So I can get rid of. Got this? So यहाँ पे आप इसको, ठीक है, forget about this because this is round up. Now if I double click on it, this is the function which was supposed to be applied. ठीक है? अच्छा. If the number of seats are greater than 5,000, give me a number. 6,000. How many trucks? 50. Done. ठीक है. Now how to apply this? कहां पे लगाएंगे? यहां पे लगाएंगे, यहां पे लगाएंगे. कहां पे उसने कहा है? G2. Why G2? Because place a formula that calculates the number of trucks required to transport the equipment to the next venue. आपने जहां पे सीट्स कम्यूट करनी है, that is your next venue. अगर आप डेटा को एग्जामिन करो तो यहां देखो कि द फर्स्ट लोकेशन इज व्हाट? द स्टोरेज. So your warehouse, from where you're going to take the seats, get the trucks loaded up, take the seats to the next venue. So आपको next venue कहां पे जाना है? यहां पे जाना है, right? You need to know how many seats to take, how many trucks to take. So you plan ahead, right? So you have to have the calculation over here, but the calculation is going to be based on the capacity of your next venue. You get this, right? Achha. So equals to if the capacity of my next venue is less than or equals to 400, then I need 2 trucks. Sahi hai? Comma. If the capacity is greater than 400 and less than 5,000, अगर मैं यहां पे लिखूं कि okay, this less than 5,000, will it be okay? Why not? देखो, मेरा जब if अप्लाई होगा, पहली कंडीशन उसको क्या मिलेगी? लेस देन इक्वल्स टू 400. लेस देन इक्वल्स टू 400, राइट? सो वो ऑटोमेटिकली उससे अबव कंसीडर कर रहा है ना. Anything which goes above will be restricted up until what? 5,000. So it automatically means greater than 400 and less than 500. So this is perfectly fine. When this happens, what do I need to do? I need to apply the integer of this divided by 400 and then add one extra truck. Wasn't the function that we applied over there? किया था ना? यही फंक्शन किया था. कहा था उसने 1 truck for every 400 seats. So 1 truck for every 400 seats, उसका इंटीजर ले लो, फ्रैक्शनल पार्ट को इग्नोर कर दो एंड ऐड 1. Last of all, value false. If it is not less than 4,000, if it is not less than 5,000, it must be greater than or equals to 5,000. So आप क्या करोगे? यहाँ पे उसके लिए हमें चाहिए 15 trucks. We will not apply the criteria for it, or we don't apply if for it. This will automatically be the value false. जब एक सिनेरियो नहीं है, दूसरा नहीं है, तो फिर तीसरा ही है. इसी तरह हम if अप्लाई करते हैं. So we get, यहाँ पे देखो, capacity is exceeding 5,000, so we get 15 trucks. Capacity is 1,500. क्या आंसर आना चाहिए? अगर हम यहाँ पे 1,500 डालें तो आंसर क्या आना चाहिए? It is still what? 4. That means if I replicate this over here, answer should be 4 because it is referring to 1,500. Do we get this, Zara? Okay. So will I replicate the function over here as well? Why not? अगर मैं कर भी दूं क्या आएगा? 2. Why? क्योंकि ये रेफरेंस ले रहा है इस सेल में. इस सेल में क्या है? Nothing is basically what? Lesser than 400. So नेक्स्ट वैल्यू आपका एग्जिस्ट ही नहीं करता, विच इज वाई यहां पे आप फंक्शन रेप्लिकेट नहीं करोगे. आप कैलकुलेशन कर रहे थे ऑफ द नंबर ऑफ ट्रक्स रिक्वायर्ड फॉर द नेक्स्ट वेन्यू. सो नेक्स्ट वेन्यू आपका यहां पे खत्म हो रही. समझ आ रही बात की आलिया? ओके. अब ये देखो कि पॉइंट नंबर 10, इन सेल I2 place a formula that will calculate the driving time in minutes between the two venues, rounded to the nearest minute. Each truck has an average speed of 55 miles per hour. Use the miles to the next venue column to help you. Requirement समझ आई? हाँ, ड्राइविंग टाइम चाहिए ना. इन व्हाट? इन मिनट्स. ठीक है, ये ड्राइविंग टाइम है. टू द नेक्स्ट वेन्यू, माइल्स टू द नेक्स्ट वेन्यू आर 26 माइल्स है. ट्रक की स्पीड पे चलेगा 55 माइल्स की स्पीड पे चलेगा. ठीक है, सो इक्वल्स टू दिस डिवाइडेड बाय व्हाट? 55. That will give me the answer in what? Hours. Now what do? You multiply this with what to make it minutes? 60. So multiply with 60 to make it minutes. Now उसने कहा round it to the nearest minute. So on this function we are going to apply round, bracket open, and number of places, comma 0, nearest minute. So it will take me 28 minutes to get to my next venue. Replicate कहां तक होगा? Till we have the time. Do we get this? You had problem with this function? No? This function? Yeah. Okay. गौर से सुनो. In cell J2, place a formula that will calculate the number of drivers that are required to transport equipment to the venue. Each driver can only drive for how many hours? 5 hours. And then cannot drive again during each journey. उसका मतलब ये है कि अगर मेरी जर्नी 8 आवर्स की होती है तो मुझे उस जर्नी के लिए कितने ड्राइवर्स चाहिए? What? 2. Why? Because एक ड्राइवर कहां तक चलेगा? 5 आवर्स तक चलाएगा. उसके बाद उससे नहीं गाड़ी चलेगी, तो उसके बाद उसने दूसरे ड्राइवर को ट्रक दे देना. So if the driving time to the next venue is 8 hours, we are going to need 2 drivers. अगर driving time to the next venue is 18 hours, फिर क्या होगा? How many drivers? 4, right? For every 5 hours we need 1 driver. सही है ना? अब कैलकुलेट कैसे करेंगे? नंबर ऑफ ड्राइवर्स चाहिए कैसे? बेसिकली तो ड्राइविंग टाइम से हमें पता चलेगा कि वो कितने आवर्स या कितने वो होंगे, राइट? अब मसला ये है कि हमने ड्राइविंग टाइम किस में निकाला है? मिनट्स में, राइट? इन ऑर्डर टू हैव द ड्राइवर्स वी नीड द आवर इंफॉर्मेशन. या तो हम इसको आवर्स में कन्वर्ट कर लें या फिर हम उसके ड्राइविंग टाइम को क्या कर लें? मिनट्स कर लें. ठीक है, सो इक्वल्स टू दिस डिवाइडेड बाय व्हाट? 5 आवर्स के कितने मिनट्स होते हैं? 300. एंटर. अब मुझे बताओ 0.093 ड्राइवर होते हैं? नहीं होते. ड्राइवर अगर 28 मिनट्स के लिए भी चलेगा, ऑल्दो उसकी कैपेसिटी के अंदर है, 5 आवर्स के अंदर अंदर ड्राइविंग टाइम है, you still need one driver, na? So what I need to do is I will round this value up to the next number. This is 1. So I need one driver. Do I need one driver for this? Yes? No. As per the distance, we need one driver. But as per the information, these are the number of trucks which are going to the next venue. So एक driver 15 trucks तो नहीं चलाएगा. You need actually 15 drivers to make it to the next venue. चेयर्स जानी है ना, 15 ट्रक्स में जानी है, तो 15 ट्रक्स एक ही ड्राइवर चलाएगा. So you take 15 drivers are required to take the chairs or take the seats to the next venue, and then you replicate this. You want to calculate? करके देख लो. Let's say 557 है. 557 equals to 557 divided by 300. 1.8 हुआ. 1.8 का मतलब क्या है? 2. सही है. 2 ड्राइवर्स होंगे ना, और ट्रक्स कितने जा रहे हैं वहां पे? 4. सो टोटल नंबर ऑफ ड्राइवर्स कितने रिक्वायर्ड है? 8. दैट इज द आंसर. डू यू गेट इट? आगे है कुछ? ओके. Replicate the formula added in this. We have already done that. आगे चलो. Place labels and formulas in appropriate size to calculate the display the total number of miles, the total distance covered, and the maximum and minimum number of drivers required for all journeys of the tour. So that is very simple. We'll just add. What do we need? Total number of miles. Total number of miles. कितने बनेंगे? Equals to sum of miles to the next venue. ऐसे ही होगा ना? Miles to the next venue. जितने भी हैं, these are the total number of miles. उसने फिर कहा हुआ है total distance covered. बताओ जी. Total distance covered. How much? Huh? No. एग्जाम्पल देते हैं. मोमना, आपको मैं कहता हूं कि ओके, ट्रैवल फ्रॉम पॉइंट ए टू बी. फ्रॉम पॉइंट ए टू बी इट्स 10 miles. मैं आपको भी मैं कहता हूं पॉइंट ए से बी तक जाएंगे. द टोटल डिस्टेंस कवर्ड इज 10 miles. Your 10 miles, your 10 miles. Total distance between the destination is what? 10 miles. Total distance covered is going to be what? 10 miles, 10 miles. So 20 miles. Yes or no? Total number of miles, 10. Total distance covered, you travel 10 miles, you travel 10 miles. So total distance traveled would be 20 miles, no? Sorry? देखो, यहां पे equals to, these are the miles multiplied by the number of trucks. या 15 ट्रक जाएंगे, सबने क्या ट्रैवल करना है? डिस्टेंस 26. तो टोटल डिस्टेंस और 26 मल्टीप्लाई बाय 15 हुआ ना. दिस इज द टोटल डिस्टेंस. एंड देन इफ वी एड दिस अप, तो ये है, और उसके बाद टोटल डिस्टेंस क्या निकलेगा? सम ऑफ व्हाट? दिस होल कॉलम. आलिया समझ आई? अच्छा, एक और चीज देखो. Equals to sum product. Array 1. comma, array2. This is the function of sum product. Sum product क्या कर रहा है? Multiply कर रहा है और फिर add कर. So sum of products. Whatever quantities you selected, पहले उनको multiply कर रहा है, फिर उनको sum कर. So sum of products. We call it sum product. ठीक है? So instead of this calculation, you could simply apply sum product. आगे इसको हम रिमूव कर देते. Maximum minimum number of drivers required for all journeys of the maximum drivers. Maximum drivers. क्या लगाएंगे इधर? Equals to max drivers. This is the column, which is 33. Minimum drivers equals to min bracket open, specify the drivers. Done? सही है. उसके बाद एक insert a footer and a header. Make all labels entered in this in cell 1 centerline italic bold. Save the spreadsheet and print as a single page wide. Forget about these steps. Print the spreadsheet in formula view. Forget about it. Create a chart to show the number of miles driven to each venue on this tour. Select the most appropriate type of the chart to display this data. Ensure that the labels are fully visible. Place your name, center number, candidate number on the chart. क्या शो करना है? Number of miles driven to each venue. Number of miles driven to each venue. हाँ जी. What is that? कहाँ पे? It is actually the number of miles driven to each venue. Again वही बात है. Miles to the next venue are बोलो मेरुनसा 26. Miles driven to the next venue multiplied by 15. Thank you very much. So आपका क्या है? Miles driven is actually equals to 26 multiplied by 15. That's the miles driven actually. और इसको आप सब के लिए कर लो. सम प्रोडक्ट जो है ना वो आपको एक होलसम आंसर देगा. यहां पे आपने क्योंकि इंडिविजुअली निकालना है तो इसलिए आपको हर वेन्यू के लिए टोटल माइल्स ड्रिवन चाहिए डेटा. नाउ इन ऑर्डर टू क्रिएट द चार्ट इट इज वेरी सिंपल. ठीक है. सिलेक्ट योर डेटा जिस पे आपने चार्ट बनाना है. इसको क्या होगा? दिस. इस पे बनाना है ना चार्ट. इसको सिलेक्ट कर लो. यू गो ऑन टू इंसर्ट. Let me zoom in for you. Go on to insert and then you drop it down the chart and select one chart. This is the chart. Now what do we need to do? We have to label this. हम इसका chart title डालते हैं. We double click on it and we type in total miles driven to each venue. Done? Okay. Whenever you build the chart, you need to specify the axis. Axis पे है क्या? यहाँ पे क्या है? यहाँ पे क्या है? ठीक है. So probably this is referring to the miles driven. And these are what? These are the venues. So how do we get to know? We select the chart. Chart design option will pop up. At the very start you have chart element. Drop it down. You have axis titles, primary, horizontal and primary vertical. You just need to activate them. Okay. Once activated, you will get to see the titles here. Over here, I will type in venues. Over here, I will type in miles. Got it? Acha. What about this? I do not have to name them as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I need to have the names of the venues. So I will select this, right click and click on select data. A pop-up box will open up. I don't have to worry about this. I need to worry about the 1 till 16. So this part, I will just click on edit and then I will take the number or the list of my venues. And we click on OK. So that will change the name. Click on OK and you have the names of the venues as well. You got this? Acha. If you want to further elaborate this chart, let's say you want to have the quantities as well on top of each bar, select your chart, go to the add chart element, click on data labels and click on outside end. I want the data labels to be present outside my bar, on top of my bar. So click on outside end. You have the values presenting it there. Now the chart is complete. Information is complete. अब मैं चार्ट को देख के बता सकता हूं कि वेन्यूज कितने हैं, माइल्स कितने हैं, राइट? और ये चार्ट है किसका? इट इज एक्चुअली द टोटल माइल्स ड्रिवन टू ईच वेन्यू. सो द इंफॉर्मेशन इज कंप्लीट. Merunisa, Meru Khurram. Yeah. So this was the solution to your exercise 3.